folks, the World Championship Snooker running at the moment in that there Sheffield. I've wanted to talk about it for the last couple of days. I've not seen a lot of it this week. I'm going to as it progresses from here on in. But I've seen a fair bit of the O Sullivan and Carter match, and that's the one I'd like to concentrate on. Having said that, really shocked about that Wakeling result today. There was always a chance he could get through after his first round, but I would have never expected that result. That was a massive win. You've got to ask, will the young Irish fella ever win it the way he's going on? He seems to struggle at the Worlds. He's brilliant, old Mark Allen, at everything, everywhere. But the Worlds, he just doesn't seem to bring his A game. I don't know what it is. Anyway, yeah, O Sullivan and Carter. So I watched it the other day. I've got to confess, I had an acca running, and I had Carter in it to beat O Sullivan. I thought he could beat him without an handicap, but he was getting 2.5 frames, and it was virtually even money, and I thought, that's a good bet. Ronnie's miles better than him, but we just don't know what Ronnie's going to come to the table. We just didn't know what we were going to get. And what I will say is, by the last few frames, Ronnie's looking something like Ronnie O'Sullivan. But I would suggest the first 4 frames especially, Ronnie O'Sullivan looked absolutely worlds and worlds away from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And Ali Carter looked probably worse. I mean, them first 4 frames, it should have been probably 3-1 or 4-0 to Carter. He just kept throwing away chance after chance after chance. He'd get in and he'd miss absolutely silly balls. But what you couldn't get with Ronnie was the fact that he just kept running out of position. He was hitting everything too hard. The odd one too soft, but in the main too hard. He was running too far. He wasn't finding the bolt line. His long potting was poor. But the thing is, when he started to get in, he started to get better. And the thing is with Ronnie, he can get in and he can lose position 3 or 4 times in one frame. But he's got such an array of shots and he's so good with the cue ball, he can find his way back quickly to where he needs to be. And he can make bad positional shots seem irrelevant a shot or two later, whereas others can't seem to do that. But I thought to myself, Ronnie was definitely there for the taking on that first session. And I think if Carter had gone in 3-1 up or 4-0 up as he probably should have been, there's every chance he could have steamrolled him. I really do. Ronnie was looking really un-Ronnie-like. That said, what I will say about O'Sullivan was he didn't really get his head down when he missed silly shots. When he was running too far and whatever else, he just didn't beat himself up. He often beats himself up, especially over the last 4 or 5 years. He did none of that. He'd just give a quizzical look, maybe a raised eyebrow and think, that's not the normal me, but don't worry, I'm not going to let it bother me. Let's see what the next shot brings. And I think that attitude was fantastic. But as Ronnie got stronger, and he was still not at his best, but as he got stronger, Carter just got worse and worse and worse. I would suggest that's probably Carter's worst display ever at the Crucible. He was absolutely shocking. I was gutted because I had a couple of quid running on. I only needed him to get 8 frames. 10-8 loss would have done me. But he was really poor, Ali Carter. Really poor. But Ronnie went on and just got stronger. But I think it was because of the quality of the opposition. I think Carter's poor play helped O'Sullivan to get stronger. I'm going to watch with bated breath tomorrow, see how Ronnie does. But I don't know. He's capable of winning it from here. He's already capable of winning it from here. And already some big guns have gone out. I'm amazed that Selby got beat as he did. Didn't see any of that game. Didn't see any of it at all. But some big guns are falling by the wayside already, so we'd have a chance. But my concern is when we get in the longer frame games, how will he hold up when he does get put under some pressure? Because there's going to be players that play him that are going to put him under some pressure. They're not going to miss the amount of balls that Carter missed. They're certainly not going to do that. And it's how he responds to that. If he responds as he can go all the way and he could even win it, but I just can't see it somehow. I just can't see him doing it. That said, if he can keep the same composure and the same outlook that he seemed to have in the first game, he would have a chance. I think he's got to realise he's got a new cue. He's got to get used to it. He's not quite the player he was. He'll miss the odd ball that he'd used to potting. He might get out of position from time to time. But if he thinks, well, don't worry about it, the next shot will be better. And I can find position more than anyone else can. I've got a better array of shots than anyone else has got. I can still do well. And I'm just going to enjoy my time here. If I win it, great. But if I don't, no problem. And I think if he goes in with that attitude, he could be really dangerous. So how's he going to do? I don't know. He could go all the way and do brilliantly. He could get blown out this weekend. You just don't know at the moment with him. But what I would say is if the player he plays next puts him under any pressure, then we're going to see where Ronnie really is. Ali Carter was just so poor. And that isn't because I have money running on it, because I never had a massive bet. But he was poor, really poor.